Hi, my name is Brenda. I'm a seer channeler, messenger for God, teacher, warrior, prayer warrior, spiritual assassin, truth teller, prophet, and I work for God. Give me a second. Today I am pointing out some issues that we need fixed by God because President Trump is a real mess, okay? These are just issues that I was guided to accumulate in some notes, and I'm still working on how to say a prayer for it. I don't know this, but we're on a portal. There are these things, portals. They work around the moon, I guess, or maybe just evil does. I don't know, but God kind of has cycles too, monthly cycles, and this is a full moon 629 portal. It's supposed to be a rare strawberry moon or something, but there's really something special about it, but don't ask me what, because I don't follow it. But it's been the last 3 or 4 at least, if not 13 or 14 at least. But I'm finally catching on to God's pattern of when things happen and how things happen. And these portals have a lot to do with it, but don't ask me how. All right. President Trump, another staged assassination attempt. Or is it real? And he's just got really horrible security that wants him gone too. He was having an event and there was an assassination attempt, supposedly. But it can be brainwashing, just, oh, feel sorry for me. I must be doing something good for you because they're trying to kill me. But they're not. Okay, they're not. I mean, how many presidents have we had? And you've seen all the security around these guys. Um, he's just playing a little sympathy, I think. At least I've been guided to think that. Right now, President Trump's got a lot bigger problems that, the name of my playlist is Maga. Really? And I'm going to link it down in my description box. There are all kinds of issues, and okay, granted, some things happened before Trump got here, but he's been in office, what, a year and a half now? What has he actually done? Okay, what has he actually helped us with? He got his cronies martial law in Washington, D.C. so they could go out to dinner and feel safe. But if they weren't bringing in all kinds of evil through the portals in Washington, D.C. that they've created over the years, that wouldn't happen. They could have gone out to dinner long ago. So, that's... And then he tried bringing martial law in California. Somehow that got stopped. I don't know. But 40 million homeless in this country, President Trump. You didn't create it, but it hasn't gotten any better. And in fact, the gap between, what do we want to say, low income or even middle income and the upper 1% is just widening really horribly. And these people, they're called working poor, and we are in the middle of our second depression in the United States, and it is a depression. They pretend it's not happening, and they try and keep us distracted with all these things. In fact, I was led to also be aware today that they're going to create a false invasion. Steven Spielberg just put out a movie, Disclosure Day. I'm getting no kickbacks from Steven Spielberg or Emily Blunt. I have not seen the movie, and in fact, I didn't even know there was such a thing, but it's called Disclosure Day, and it has something to do with aliens. And I saw maybe 10 seconds of an interview with Steven Spielberg where he said, I believe there it is. I believe it. And it is real. We are on planet Earth, which really is a Matrix video game of life. And it's kind of like the Star Wars thing. What's that guy's name? Darth Vader. And basically, I don't know. And then we are what was Carrie Fisher? The revolution, the resistance. Thank you, Holy Spirit. The resistance. We are the resistance. I hope you can follow this. I still feel scattered. But 40 million homeless people in the United States, and that was 4 years ago. It's totally not Trump's fault, but he was president before this. And then, Bushy and Obama didn't really help anything. They want us on prescriptions, and they want to come in our homes for no reason, get in our whole lives. That's what this was all about, the energy harvestation. Getting in our homes so they could put cameras in our homes. Palantir, Peter Thiel. Yeah, he developed the surveillance that the whole world uses on us. And I'm not sure who, besides maybe Palantir and Bill Gates together, created and of course Elon Musk, created the data centers and the robots and all that. And now, was it Zuckerberg? He's trying to get in on the game. Actually, I heard that all those people, that's their biggest, newest investments, because Bitcoin's going down. People are dumping their devices. That's what the guy on Redacted said. I haven't had a cell phone for at least 2 years ago in December. Smashed it. These people hacked me. There was no internet on my phone available because I was making videos, posting them to YouTube, and they didn't want me telling the truth. So they shut the internet off on my phone, thinking that would stop me. Well, it made it a little harder, but I'm not a fool, so, I figured out another way to upload the videos. And I smashed that phone. And I haven't had a cell phone since then. And, it saved me $50-$60 a month. And I just really haven't missed having to worry about charging it or knowing where it is or anything. Although it makes it a little harder when you got one that's not on a network and you lose it. That's not fun. The Redacted guy said people are actually giving up their cell phones, and it's going to be a trend. It's just not worth it. A lot of people that he knows are looking for rotary phones, CBs, and ham radios. I mean, they're ready to go back to the old. And then what is this? People spending $200 a month for internet and TV. Yeah, give me a break, you know. What's wrong with the antenna? You know, do you really need that many channels? Um, and do you really need that much TV time? That's the question. Although, you know, when you're injured, it really is hard to just exist and read. Like, I tried reading books at the beginning of I had a 30 some year, well, I still have issues, but a 30-year bilateral neck injury, and uh, trying to find a comfortable way, you know, it was in my hands, even in my fingers, and so I couldn't sit at the table and hold a book, you know, my hands down, because that bothered everything from all the way up my spine to my fingertips. And then, you know, there was just other ways I just couldn't get comfortable, laying on my belly on the floor and watching it. Nope, that didn't work on the neck at all. You know, every position so I gave up watching or trying to read books. And I did get into TV, but I didn't really get into TV so much as movies. I hated commercials. They were just stupid, and I understand that's what pays for them, but I didn't want to deal with that, so I just never had cable. And luckily we had VCRs, and then movie rental stores, and also the mail-in subscriptions for the movie rental stores, Blockbuster and Netflix. You could get DVDs mailed to you. I did that. Uh, and I had never, you know, I'd always worked, never had downtime, never really was into movies. But, you know, first I started trying to play music, mostly love songs. Well, when you're hurting and in pain and you can barely take care of yourself, the last thing you want to do is have a relationship and have people around that you got to make happy, even though you feel like crap. So music, you know, and a lot of the music was just love songs, or else that angsty, you know, and that didn't ever go for me either. Or I never went for it. Uh, so movies helped kill like an hour and a half to 3 hours, and then the series of them. And I had never really watched movies, so I had a lot of catching up, like 20 some years of movies to catch up at least, plus movies from the 40s and 50s I had never seen. Um, so that kept me busy for a long time, but there were still no commercials or none of that. These were paid for by rental, that I used. I don't even know why I'm mentioning that. Oh, those are just ways to fill time, I guess, if you don't have TV. You could always learn things, too. Or volunteer. You might learn something doing that, even. Or even make some new friends, connections, jobs. Uh, you know, we can't just sit around and do things. Um, 40 million homeless. People are living in their cars. They're living in RVs. They're, you name it. They can't afford rent. That was an issue that I still haven't looked up. 2008, there was a program from a real estate company from, of course, Texas, that it falsely inflated property values all around the United States. And it went on, that was 2008. They just admitted something between 2020 and 2024 or 5. That program was faulty, and it was based on the wrong numbers, let's say, the wrong figures, the wrong math. I really don't know. All I know is that it was falsely inflated, and that's where, and plus remember, Bushy was always talking about the housing bubble, the housing market, the housing bubble. Um, they were doing something then. They were just talking about it subtly, but they were working on destroying the property values back then, and it has taken a while to show up in our world. Maga, yeah, Maga. That's my complaint. How is Trump making America great again? By making more people homeless than ever, building data centers for pre-crime, and how is that making America great? But also I know that the elite, so-called self-appointed elite powers that were, they're trying to make it so that they're the only ones in this world, and they're in charge. Who's going to be? Never mind. I don't know. I guess this is just a making people aware of video. I don't know. It's not really a prayer yet. Yes. Have you noticed since the siphoning, energy vampirism, feeding from underage minors, including red rum and drinking blood rituals? Also, I've heard there's eating involved. Yeah, like Diddy parties and Epstein Island, and there's eating involved. And I mean cannibalism. They think eating the youth makes them young. Somehow they steal the essence. And they were looking young for a long time. Now that the truth is out and God's putting a kibosh on that plan, they're all looking pretty old, don't you think? You can tell who's been doing what, right? It's not just rumors, guys. Falsely inflated real estate. Yes, I did that. Oh, also Trump touts that he's never been a druggie or any of them. But Carrie Fisher witnessed him using cocaine. I'm not sure if she was in on it with him or not, but she's had conversations about his cocaine use. And I got news the other day that someone in Congress was outing him about current usage of something, but he says he's not on any meds or anything. I don't know. If he didn't have to hide secrets of doing things to children and God's whole population, he wouldn't have to mask his feelings, hide from himself, doing these drugs. These are God's children, Mr. President. God and Mother Earth are pissed at you, yes. We'll do the look. Alan Greenspan is gone. He's one of the money guys. Also, I'm going to link Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall interview. No idea. I want to say 90s, maybe early 2000s. I don't know. But it was very interesting. Eddie Murphy was enlightened way back then. It just gives you another perspective, I guess is the point of it. I stand in the gap, but there's still no prayer there. You've never done anything in their interest. When are you going to start? We are in the second depression in America. Is that how you are, Maga? And then Eddie Murphy and Arsenio. Okay. What is bound on earth shall be bound in heaven. What is loosed on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not with principalities, but with spirits. I should look that up. Also, I have another good quote. Yeah, I better look that up. I'm going to pause this. Oh, there's part of a prayer. Dear Abba. Okay, cool. Okay, I don't know. I keep looking for my notes, and I'm just, they're repeating things. I have more. I have the prayers. I really need to do 2 prayers. Oh, here's the rest of it. I saw an image also. It looked like Trump was smiling, and they're evicting J.D. Vance, I believe. Now I've been privy to some information, inspiration, as well as the fake invasion news. Yes, they're gonna, like I said, the Disclosure Day, the Steven Spielberg movie, they're gonna fake an invasion and freak people out and try and get them afraid. And really, it's the demons here on this planet that are the real horror stories. And the, quote, invaders are actually friendly. The ones here on this planet, they're called Archons, Archons. They destroyed their own home planet. Maybe this is like from the 26th or something. Maybe I need to go back a couple days more, because I do have notes from this. The Archons destroyed their home planet, and they came here way, way, way back in Jesus' days. In fact, Jesus and Mary Magdalene and those folks, the apostles and that, knew how to see the Archons in other people. They're 4D spirits, these Archons. They have no bodies. So they inhibit world leaders, people that can control things. I don't know what they do to the real people, the real souls. I do know someone who sold their soul to get an entity put in them, and that was an average Joe. As far as these so-called self-appointed elite, they've been around since the 1400s. Their parents could have done this to them instead of voluntary. You know what I mean? It just was the way things were done in those families. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just told that that is the case in some cases. So these Archons, they invade bodies, and they have an agenda. They hate women. They want to control this planet because they destroyed their own home planet. so they want this one. And that's what the New World Order thing is. They're really trying to get rid of humanity. They're trying to steal this world away from God. And they worship demons. They open evil portals around the universe, I guess, through CERN and various ways. I mean, they even, like in my town, they had a portal at the library. They had a portal at a water/amusement park. And somewhere else. I mean, this, I don't know how they do it. Yeah, the library. I don't know if that's the college library or the other library or both. They have spies everywhere. Not spies, but agents. You know, like Men in Black. What was that? Matrix. In the Matrix. Where those guys kept turning into the Agent Smith or whatever. I don't even remember. I just watched the Matrix one too. These guys turned into them. You didn't see the spirits jumping into their body, but you could see them transforming. And they all kind of looked alike, all the agents. I don't know. It's kind of how the archons work. You know, they just kind of get into you. You can't see them. Our eyes can't see them. Oh, Holy Spirit, I feel like this is all scattered. I hope it makes sense. Alright, I'm gonna quit this. Well, okay, maybe I'm not. There's still more notes. I saw an image the other day, J.D. Vance, I believe. They were evicting him. Now I've been privy to information about a fake invasion and so much homeless and Mother Earth violations from Trump and those demons he patronizes and supports at all of our expense. He better study plumbing because he's going to have to melt down his gold plumbing. But I don't know why. That was all Holy Spirit said. Mr. Trump better. He didn't say Mr. Trump. Donald. Donald better study plumbing because he's going to have to tear apart his gold plumbing to melt it down, probably for money to live on. I don't know. The Holy Spirit didn't finish that part. Fake assassination attempts for sympathy and brainwashing. Oh, he must be trying to help us. People want to take him out. That's the brainwashing attitude. But, you know, it's not true. It's all fake. Just wants sympathy. He's a puppet. Okay? The oil boys, the prescription boys, the money boys, the government boys, the tech boys, all that, the security boys. There's 12 groups of people that can control, well, not can control, they control the president. My friend that they took out back in 2010 knew that. She always told me back in 1985, there's no point in voting, they're all puppets, it's all planned. And she was right. I wish she was here now to really give me her perspective now. Fake assassination, brainwashing, blah, blah, blah. His cronies are behind it, so we don't notice how bad he's screwing us. Yeah. Military workers get money contracts to steal from us. Everything. Even doctors are quitting. Yes, that's in my playlist. It's only one video, but it's a start. Check out my playlist. It will be in the description box. No wonder we can't get doctors. They're quitting because they don't want to be part of the scam. They actually are getting a conscience. That's the trouble with going to college. You pay all that money, you get a job, you don't know what you're going to do to get there, and then you get there and it's like, this is what I just invested my life in. and my bills for how many years that you got to pay on the student loan things. And now a new scam in many states if in energy siphoning is DUIs. Yes, I have videos still, or I can't get at them right now, but they're funding the infrastructure also through, through the tickets, the police, the trips to just town court 1 day a week, and then city court where I live had court for 3 days a week. It started at 9 a.m. and who knows when it ended. And the one that I saw recently was a town court, and it's got the tiniest parking lot. And then away in there, I don't even know how many feet. I'm not a real good judge of distance like that. But there were I wish I could have counted the cars. There must have been 300 cars in that area. And this was an hour after court had started. There was nowhere to park. It's like, what, you had to sit there and wait till somebody left just to park to pay your damn ticket? And, the average ticket, and of course they come up with surcharges that the state just has to add on there that sometimes they're more than the ticket. And it's just a scam. Well, now, the newest one is, excuse me, yep, there's confirmation burp. I gotta drink some water too. DUIs, fake ones. They're totally sober people. The plan is to pull over innocent people, harass them, make them blow, and have a fake DUI test, just like Kimmy there, my evil twin doppelganger, trans twin from the government, the New World Order's fake me, fake chosen one, the evil twin. She was buying fake pregnancy tests online to keep trapping men for child support and just delay and ruin their lives and get them all stressed out and trapped and, feel like their life's going nowhere and they're trapped. Yeah, you get the idea. I don't know why this is in there. She also gets your own children. Oh, this is for me. Yeah. She got my own children, or at least one of them, to testify and hack me by sleeping with them, rugging them with poison food. That's her specialty. And then that creates a cord that she tugs on their energy. When you have sexual relations with people, it creates a cord. Who knew? But it's a spiritual thing. And then say that person goes and sleeps with 10 people, they can still pull on all 10 of them people that they've slept with. And this Kimmy there did that. I don't know why this is in with all the stuff Trump was doing. Just downloads. This is how my downloads come in sometimes. No, they're mixed in together. Trump just had a great American state fair, and there was a mass exodus, which is why the fake assassination attempt, I think. Well, that's not, I think, I was told. Who's he paid to sit around and think this is up? When it takes the government months and many taxpayer paid vacations, holidays, breaks. I have heard, the Supreme Court made decisions, not many in a year at all, and all of a sudden, in the last 3 days, a birthright, citizenship, and presidential power, presidential firings, And something about late mail-in ballots will still be counted. Oh, and also the Supreme Court made a decision that they were going to reject Donald Trump's appeal of E. Jean Carroll's claims of his SA. And this is where he's learning a soul lesson of accountability at 80 years old, because he can't actually get out of some crap that he did. Yeah, okay, I think this is it. Something about war. Oh no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta live the battle to fight the war. And you either sink or swim or get back up or stay down. Yeah. That goes in with my prayer. Yeah, I'm gonna put the other, I'm gonna put the same things into the description box on this. Just the playlist of astronomical amounts of homeless people of all ages. There's veterans, baby boomers that were promised, golden years, and these were war veterans, some of them. Former business owners that conveniently their spouses got disabilities and it ate up their savings. Things like that the government puts on people. They can put illness, injury, and sickness and disease on you. It's just a spell. In fact, I heard the other day that the only disease or the only something pollution in our body should be mucus. Everything else is added by our elite, so-called self-appointed elite, and our leaders, our world leaders. These things they can, in fact, I know someone that can steal someone's power and then put that into someone. These injuries, sicknesses, illness, disease, along with spiritual. That person is a spiritual assassin too, but they did it for the NWO, New World Order. Fake invasion, yeah. Okay, this is it. I just want to also add that all of my ancestors, the Orishas, Anubis, Oshuns, Kate, and I have more ancestors that I never knew I had. They are my ancestors. And the archangels, they're all in position. They're ready to fight. So, this really is Revelations, guys. It's going down. And whatever is bound on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever is loosed on earth will be loosed in heaven. So, if all hell breaks loose, guys, don't be surprised. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what to get from this. I hope it helps somebody. I don't know. Have a good night.